Good morning, everyone. It's Kirsten here for a Thursday morning spa business break. Normally I'm here at noon, but today I need to do a little bit earlier. So I have been talking about marketing for the past month, but I need to switch things up because I have a wee bit of a rant to go on. I'm not usually a kind of a ranty person, but this has been coming up, and I felt like some things just need to be said when it comes to hiring and staff and expectations of spa owners, because I'm seeing some really frustrated spa owners, but it's really coming from a place where they have really unrealistic expectations about having staff, having a team, growing their business with a team. So I titled this, "You're either all in or you compromise everything." And that really is the truth when it comes to hiring and staffing. When you hire, it's a big responsibility for you as a spa owner. And unfortunately, there's been a lot of experiences, as spa owners being employees, where I think sometimes we picked up some bad habits, some bad thinking habits, some bad expectations, and it's flavoring our own leadership in a way that is detrimental. It's detrimental to you and your business because these expectations just don't pan out. They're not true, they don't work. And they're detrimental to your team because they end up feeling not valued, frustrated because they're not being led properly, and they quit because there's no support for them there. So I've got two points, two expectations that I've been hearing consistently from spa owners when it comes time to hiring. The first expectation I hear is spa owners wanting to hire a team so that they, the owner, can be absent. Now, that's either absent completely, like they just want to be traveling, they want to be doing other things. Maybe it also means that they want to be in the treatment room completely. But what I mean by absent is that they're absent in their leadership. They're absent in leading their team, training their team, coaching their team. They really just they just want to hire, and they want their staff just to do what they're told to do and expected to do. Or sometimes it's not even what they're told to do. There's this expectation of they should just know what to do. So my beef with that is that, you as an owner are expecting these staff members to run with your protocols. You're expecting them to communicate with staff in a way that you want them to communicate. You want them to behave a certain way with clients, and you want them to build your business. But you don't want to be there to do the training. You don't want to be there to do the ongoing coaching, the ongoing support that they need. And you kind of just don't want to be there to have the hassle. So my huge beef with that is that if you're unwilling to show up and lead your team, you can't expect them to be doing what you want them to be doing. The fact of the matter is, when the cat's away, the mice will play. So it is totally unrealistic to have this expectation of, I want to grow my business, I've got tons of clients, I have overflow, I'm going to hire a staff member to take my overflow, but I'm going to stay in my treatment room, or I want to start stepping away from the spa, and then not wanting to put any effort into to supporting their team with a training program, with ongoing coaching. So of course things are going to start falling apart fairly quickly if somebody is not there to lead them. So if that is what you want for your business, if you want to be in the treatment room primarily but still build a team, if you want to be an absentee spa owner, that can be okay and that can be arranged. But know that you're going to need to hire some sort of leadership team. You're going to need to hire a manager. You're going to need to train somebody to manage your business while you're not capable or not wanting to be there. It is absolutely unreasonable to expect your staff to kind of throw them in and expect your staff to just do what they should be doing. I know I haven't experienced this with as a staff member in the spa. Actually, I have. My very first job, I worked in a hair salon, and I was just kind of thrown in, and I was shown how to do the facial that she does, but that was about it. And then I was just expected to, especially as a new esthetician, I was right out of school. I was just expected to keep doing what she expected me to be doing. But I was new. I needed so much more support than that. And so what happened? I got a phone call from another spa who wanted to hire me, who had a much more robust training system and support system for me. And I gave my 2 weeks notice and left for the other spa. So, if that's what you want to do, if you want to be absent, that's okay. But you do need to know and prepare yourself to have somebody there who's going to manage it for you. It's just unrealistic to expect people to to grow your business without you being there, to grow your business the way you want without you being there. The second piece here that I get frustrated with spa owners is expecting fast growth by some magic bullet. And I know you've heard this before, that there's no magic bullet, but for whatever reason, I think it has to do with social media and how we're marketed to, because there's always this, it always sounds like this next best thing, this next silver bullet, this next magical tactic that's going to change everything. The fact of the matter is, and that goes along with hiring staff. Hiring staff is not going to explode your business, because you have a huge responsibility of training them and the ongoing support. This has to do with marketing as well. There's no one specific thing that is just going to explode your business. Now, one of my friends and colleagues, Kristen Sheen, sent me an article yesterday that prompted this bit of a part of the rant, and it was from Jim Collins in his book From Good to Great, and I've got a link there of the article that she shared with me, and it really kind of poked a button for me that has been kind of stuff that's been bubbling up about entrepreneurs expecting, some magic thing to just instantly explode their business. The really fascinating piece of this article that Jim Collins wrote and about his book is the concept of the flywheel. And I really encourage you to read that article. And there's some links in there to help you understand it better. But essentially what he's saying is that it's not one specific action that dramatically transforms a company. It's these small, incremental, consistent things that companies do, that leaders do, that get them to become successful. So the concept of the flywheel is that, you've got this really big, heavy wheel, and as you start pushing it and it starts moving, it goes through one big rotation. It took a lot of effort, but if you're showing up consistently and consistently rotating that wheel at a consistent effort, then eventually things start snowballing. So this concept is very similar to, sometimes you hear the term of a 10-year overnight success. Same kind of concept. A lot of times we see somebody's outward success and we misperceive how it happened. How it happens from the perspective of that particular person are those consistent action steps that they've been taking, showing up consistently, working on their business consistently. It's incrementally starts building momentum. So yeah, for some people it looks like, oh my God, they're an overnight success. They just kind of opened up their spa and they're ultimately successful. It doesn't happen that way. You know that if this has happened to you, you know that behind the scenes it was just those little steps that you took every day consistently that got you to where you wanted to go. He has a quote in one of his videos that it says, "The secret to mediocrity is chronic inconsistency." That is absolutely perfect. So I had been beating this drum about Facebook Live in my Facebook Live marketing training, and I'm keeping encouraging people to show up and just start doing your Facebook Lives. This can be the same thing with any part of your marketing. It can be if you're planning a growth strategy in your business, if you're planning on hiring. We have to show up every day and do our action steps consistently in order to get to where we want to go. All right. So it's not really rocket science, but unfortunately, I think due to how we are marketed to through social media, through the internet, we're given this mistaken perception that, earn 6 figures by this kind of technique, or go from 6 figures to 7 figures. It's marketing hype. And what we need to do as leaders is to recognize that for what it is, and to just know deep down that yes, there's probably going to be some tactics that you can learn in order to grow your business, but to not put all your eggs in one basket, to think, okay, this is it. And really it's about also shifting too quickly from one thing to the other. You get an idea for marketing, but I see a lot of spa owners, they get the idea, they start working on it, and then they just kind of peter out and they don't finish it. So of course, no results kind of pan out for you. So it's this constant context switching that also ends up going down that path of mediocrity because it's inconsistent. So this is one of the founding principles of my group coaching program, Spa Business Labs. And we started in January. We won't start again another onboarding until June. But this is why I created this group coaching program, was because I saw this huge gap for spa owners of having too big of expectations, and B, context switching all the time. So in the Spa Business Labs, the first thing that we do in our orientation call is decide on what is your one thing that you're going to be working on for the next 12 weeks. What is your one thing goal? And I'm constantly coaching them if they're coming to their coaching calls with a whole bunch of different concepts or ideas that is away from their one focus thing, to ensure that they're not just getting that shiny penny syndrome and context switching all the time and then just wasting time. Sometimes they're legitimate things that come up and we need to address them and work on them right away. But I guess really the biggest piece is being aware of when you are tempted to context switch, and distract from what your action steps are from what your one goal is. Think of it as like a circle, and most entrepreneurs are really well known for having really great ideas and lots of ideas, but think of a circle, and most entrepreneurs have ideas, and think of those ideas as little arrows going all the way, shooting out from that circle. And so everything is diluted. Everything is diluted when you have too many arrows coming out of your circle. But if you have one arrow, one direction that you are focused on for a certain period of time, you are able to funnel all that energy and time into that one direction and get there much, much quicker and much easier. So spas, to circle back to what I was originally getting on here for, is that when you have a team, you're either all in or you compromise everything. It's one of the biggest lessons I learned when I had my team and my business wasn't making any money and I was wondering what the heck was going on. I realized I was compromising my leadership all over the place. And I needed to be all in for my team. What does all in look like? All in looks like making sure you have a staff handbook so that your policies are exceptionally clear. Making sure you have a disciplinary policy in there so that if staff veer off what your policies are, you have something to circle back on in order to, either coach them through it, or maybe it's time to leave. It means having a training program for your staff, a thorough training program, not just kind of quickly showing them how to do a few treatments and then they're on their own. Having a training program that follows up with those new team members. Having an ongoing coaching program to make sure that you're nurturing your staff in their growth and how they want to move and grow within your company to make sure that everybody's happy. A lot of times staff who do a great job get forgotten. We need to make sure that we're nurturing their position in your company so that they keep producing and they keep being happy. So those are some of the things that as a leader we can't compromise on. Making sure that we are very clear about our company culture. What is your philosophy? Does the team know about your philosophy? So there's all sorts of pieces that need to be developed in order to make sure that your team is supported and is able to grow your business. If they're not supported, it's very difficult to grow within your business, and they'll either get frustrated and leave or cause problems within your spa, and you don't want that. So if you are feeling like, yep, I have been compromising, that's okay. Don't beat yourself up about it too much. It's one of those things where we need to live and learn and move on. So once you realize where you're compromising, what you're compromising, then you can start taking action to clean things up, right? So, for me, one of the things I've learned about life is that expectations are funny, because if we have certain expectations, it really flavors our perspective about everything. So if we have expectations that are totally off what reality is, and that's what I was talking about, building a team when you actually really want to be absent. Maybe you're thinking, I'm going to build a team because I've got an overflow of clients, but I don't really want to manage people. If you don't want to manage people, don't build a team. There's probably other ways that you can leverage your business that you might not have thought about. That's something that you can work with a coach with, is kind of leverage what you already have. There's probably lots of things in there that can be done. Or hiring a manager, making sure that you have somebody to manage your team and not let the inmates run the asylum. I'm very familiar with how that works, inmates running the asylum. So So anyways, if you're thinking about building a team, if you have a team and they're driving you crazy, it's time to reanalyze what your expectations are about your teams and about building your business with a team. It might not be the right fit for you, especially if you don't like leading people. Okay, so it's not as easy as I'm just going to leverage my business by adding staff. Adding staff, anybody who's added staff knows that it is a huge undertaking. It's a big responsibility. You're responsible for these people's livelihood, and you have a responsibility to make sure that they are trained and that the guest experience goes smoothly for everybody. All right, that is my spa business break for today. And if you have any stories about leadership that you've been under that you can relate to, as far as, having an absentee owner or somebody that's just kind of dropped you into the job and kind of left you to do it on your own, and you're kind of looking around wondering, okay, I guess I'll just do my best. Or maybe you realize that you are context switching a lot, as far as looking for the constant next best thing rather than just plodding along at the action steps that have been working. I'd love to hear your stories. Okay, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next Thursday at noon Pacific for another spa business break. Thanks for watching.